Namaste. So, this is going to be a discussion-like thing. As we know, food is a very debatable topic because each science has got its own theories, the background. And again, food is more with the cultural aspect, the way the family is doing it, and so many factors involved in the aspects of it. So these are just the theories as what Ayurveda says on how certain concepts with the food has to be. So this should not be introduced immediately because there would be a change in the body which is very drastic and the body finds it difficult to adjust. But whatever changes we need to incorporate into the system has to be slowly introduced. So similar would be this concept also. So let's understand how to incorporate raw and cooked food into our meals. Before we get into the topic, because the answer to the question is very simple, let's understand what food is and what processing it goes through in the body. So food is considered as one among the three pillars to maintain the positive health. So the other two being sleep and brahmacharya. So the diet plays a very major role. Sleep definitely, because sleep is something which rejuvenates our body and prepares us for the next day. So we are considering ourselves to be the microcosm of the universe. So whatever changes happen in the universe is seen in us. So the circadian rhythm should match with the universal clock. So the circadian rhythm is the body clock. So that should coincide with the environmental clock to maintain the positive health. So we consider the sun to be the start of the day and the sunset to be the end of the day. The rise of the moon to start with the slowness in the activities until the sunrise. So the slowing of the activities with the moonrise is very, very important for the body to prepare us for the next day. Otherwise, if we stress ourselves with the day and night stressful, hectic activities, the body would be prone to stress, which is the main cause for the inflammation. So that's how sleeping at the right time becomes very important for the positive health. And brahmacharya is more having a self-control on ourselves. Because it's more like a mind and the body relationship to have a good self-control of ourselves. So the diet, a proper sleep, and a good self-control of all the activities that we are doing is very important for maintaining the positive health. Of the three, diet plays a major role. So again, when we consider the treatment aspect, food becomes the priority. So for the treatment to be effective, there are four limbs. Which is the ahara, the food, the vihara, the activities, the vichara, the thought process, aushadha is the medicine. Medicine is both internal and external that we are doing. So in Ayurveda, medicine is just one part of the four limbs of a proper treatment sign. So the first is the ahara. If the food is right, whatever treatment we are doing is better absorbed into the system. If our activities is right, it goes well with the treatments. And again, the thought process, having the self-confidence, having the positive approach in the treatment is what benefits us. And then definitely the core treatment. So let's understand what food is. Is everything that we eat through the mouth is considered as food, or is it wholesome to us? No. Ayurveda gives us the definition as what is the nature of the food that we should have and that nourishes us. So Ayurveda is basically going back to thousands of years ago, and the root of Ayurveda comes from the Vedas. Vedas are the knowledge treasures of the Hindu philosophy, and we have like 4 Vedas, and Ayurveda is a part of Atharva Veda. So all our textbooks are in Sanskrit. And this is like few lines of what food is defined as in Ayurveda text. It is considered as Varnaha Prasadaha Sausvaryam Jeevitam Pratibha Sukham Tushtir Pushtir Bhalam Meda Sarvamannam Pratishtitam. So the food sustains the life in the living beings, and all the living beings in the universe need food. And what kind of food is? The food that we eat should nourish us with these properties. So the food gives us the complexion. The food gives us the clarity in our thought process, clarity in everything. It's like we need to have, when we have food, we should be active, we should be alert after a meal. We should not feel sluggish, drowsy, or lethargic. That's what I mean by clarity. So if the food is nourishing our body and the mind, we are active after a meal. If the food is heavy, if the food is tamasic in nature, we feel lethargic after the meal, which should not happen. So the food which gives us the right complexion to the body, brings in clarity, it gives in good speech, because what we eat is what we are. It gives us longevity, it gives us a better performance, happiness, satisfaction, nourishment, strength, intellect. And the food that gives us all these are considered to be the right food for us. And the body is the byproduct of food, and food is the base of the life. So why is food important? Because to sustain us, to understand what we are, how we are living, it is all reflecting from the food. So we are what we eat, digest, and absorb. Every features of us is defined by the food. So the food is responsible for the health and the diseases. So what kind of food gives us health and happiness is wholesome food. And the unwholesome food is the cause for the diseases and the misery. So the best amount to sustain the life, definitely there is air. And apart from the air, then comes the food. So in Ayurveda, food is considered to be the Mahabheshaja. Mahabheshaja means the ultimate medicine. There is no medicine which is equivalent to the right food. So if we are having the right food, right timely food, right quantity of the food in the right season, that's what can keep us healthy. And there is no medicine that is equivalent to a healthy. So what benefits we get from the healthy food? It helps in nourishing our body and mind, helps in maintaining the dosha balance, and it supports the immunity and vitality. So for this, we need Hita, Mita, and Kalahara. This is what Ayurveda says. Hita is the right food, Mita is the right quantity, Kala is at the right time. So the food having at the right time, the right quantity, the right choices keeps us healthy. So this helps in proper functioning of the digestive system, which keeps us healthy, because we consider kitchen of the health as the digestive system. So if the digestive system is functioning well, the whole system is well. Let's just understand what health is. So health is not just mere absence of diseases, it goes beyond that. And this definition was given to us thousands of years ago, which WHO had given us few years back. So the very definition of health goes as samadosha, samanyascha, samadhatu, malapriyaha, prasanna, atmendriya, manha, swastya iti vidiyate, which means a balanced state of the doshas. So we have 3 doshas in the system, which is like the vata, pitta, and the kapha. So these are the energy principles in the body which constitutes us, and when they get disturbed, it becomes responsible for the causation of the diseases. So a balanced state of the doshas is what is important for the positive health. And beyond that is the Agni. Agni is the digestive fire. Ayurveda believes that there are 13 digestive fires in the system. So having a good control or having a good functioning of these 13 digestive fire is again one of the aspects of maintaining the positive health. And samadhatu is just as how the conventional medicines has different systems, as the circulatory system, the respiratory system, digestive system. We have different channels in the body, which is called as dhatus, which is like a very deeper aspect. And they go in saying a proper excretion is also important. So that's how during the consultation, we talk every day about how the stool formation is, what was the frequency, and the malas are the feces, urine, and the stools. So that's how we talk about it. So we understand from the stools how the positive health is coming from the gut. So this is the bodily features, and it goes to the level of the mind, saying that balanced coordination of the mind, the sense organs, and the consciousness is important for having a positive mind frame, which is again reflecting on the positive health. So it is basically to say that the harmony of the mind and the body is what is important for having a positive health. So how do we know whether our digestive system is working well or the food we are eating is healthy? Who tells us this? We tell us, but how do we know it?
Shows, right? People can see.
People can see, definitely.
How you're feeling is.
Yes, that's more deeper answer, and that's what Ayurveda says. So there are certain features that we express in ourselves as having a clear burps. So burps is very normal, but having a clear burp is a sign of good digestion. Being enthusiastic and energetic all along, no sluggishness, no lethargy, proper timely elimination of stools and urine, feeling of lightness in the body, timely thirst and hunger. If we have these signs, it shows us that the digestion is going well and the digestive fire is good, and also it answers the food that we are eating is the right food. So these symptoms are the sign of a healthy gut.
What is a clear burp?
Clear burp is a burp which comes just like a sound, the belches, no odor to it, no reflux, no taste to it, just a small portion of air that comes out. So the factors responsible for the proper digestion of food, as we understand, is the digestive system, the digestive fire, and the proper diet. So all this is very important to have a proper digestion. So the importance of the wholesome food is to have a balanced doshas and maintain the positive health. And Ayurveda is basically a science which tells us how to prevent and promote the positive health. The curative of the diseases is the secondary aspect in Ayurveda. So the main objective of Ayurveda or the main focus of Ayurveda is to preserve and promote positive health, and that's how they talk about the dinacharya, which is the daily regimen that we have to follow, and they talk about rutucharya, so which means how the daily regimen has to be changed as per the seasons. So having a daily regimen as per the season is something which is more like a preventive science in Ayurveda. So if we have two plates like this, which is the healthier meal plate?
On the left.
On the left.
On
the
the
back.
left.
Yeah.
Everybody on the left?
No.
That's rice, some curry and roti. This has the salads, it has dal, it has. Okay.
Ayurveda says no salad with the meat, so I'm not sure.
Correct. This is the answer.
Here's the answer.
Yes, so that is the healthy meal, and that's the answer for today's talk. So why? Because the one without salad was the healthier plate, because it keeps our digestive system relaxed and not confused. And let's understand why. So impact of mixing cooked and raw food. So the cooked food and the raw food have different levels of digestion, and cooking changes the chemical composition in the food and makes it easier for digestion. This is the concept with Ayurveda. So when we mix cooked food and the raw food, there is a combination of food of two different digestive levels, wherein the stomach is confused as how it has to process it. So the food stays in the gut for a longer time, which goes through a process of fermentation. It leads to the gas formation, bloating, indigestion, and this over a period of time can give the ama, which is like undigested metabolites in the body, and that is the main cause of the diseases in Ayurveda. So this ama, further if I have to tell you, so this starts circulating in the system, and it finds and lodges at the weakest spot in the body, and there the disease formation starts. So this ama has to be under control, and for the ama to be under control, we need to have a healthy digestive system whereby the agni has to be proper. And for the agni to be proper, the mixing of the cooked and the raw food should never happen. So the raw food we believe is heavy for digestion. So it has to be had on its own only when the digestive system is strong to digest it. When a person has a weak digestive system or any digestive related issues or going through Ayurveda Panchakarma treatments or just Ayurveda rejuvenation therapies also, try to stay away from the salads because it keeps the system light, easy for the digestion of the food, whereby the maximum benefits of the treatments can be got. So never mix cooked food and the raw food.
No, so don't eat raw food when you're on Ayurvedic.
No,
At all.
at all. Because we consider, as I was telling you, there are 13 digestive fires in the body. So they go to the level of the dhatus, which we can translate as the cellular metabolism. So when the massage happens, there is oil that is spread or any other, like SSPS has this rice, PTS has these leaf potalies, but everything is oil based. So when the oil is applied on the body, it has to go deeper into the system to show its benefit. And this can happen if the cellular digestion is good. And this cellular digestion is linked to the main digestion at the digestive system. So having a heavy food, having a heavy massage with the oils, there is indigestion happening and the complete benefits of the treatment is not got. So that's how we try to keep our food light so that the digestive system is light and the maximum benefit is got from the treatments that is had. So that's why we don't have salads in our menu. But salads are healthy. Ayurveda doesn't say no to salads. There is a way on which we need to have salads. So raw food can be had only when the digestive fire is good. When the digestive fire is weak, no raw food. You can steam your vegetables, whatever you want to have as a salad plate and have it, because that steaming aids the digestion. And again, if we go to the level of the doshas, the raw food increases the vata in the body. So which is not a very ideal dosha to have it increase. So avoid mixing raw food and cooked food. Avoid raw food on empty stomach in the morning and after sunset. After sunset, again, because we believe in the sun and the moon cycle, as the sun goes down, our digestive fire slows down. So having anything raw or anything heavy after sunset is to be avoided. And why again not on empty stomach is, as the sun is rising, the digestive fire is just growing. So do not have a heavy breakfast or do not have anything cold in nature in the morning for the breakfast. So it is said that the breakfast has to be lighter, the lunch the heavier meal for the day, and the dinner the lightest. Again, having the raw food on empty stomach in the morning is heavy for digestion, and also it increases the vata. So if there is a habit of having fruit as the first meal, try to forego it slowly, because one, there will be a spike in the glucose levels, and again, it's going to be heavy. So the best time to have fruit will be in between the meals, and the best time to have salads also in between the meals, preferably between the breakfast and the lunch, or it can be just few minutes before the lunch, like half an hour minimum. Avoid the raw food during the monsoon and winter, because as such in these seasons, the digestive fire is low. Again, it's going to be a heavy food for digestion. So eat fruits or raw salads on its own, either 60 minutes before a meal or 2 hours after the meal. Avoid raw food during Ayurveda treatments.
So on that, avoid during monsoon or winter. We live where we have 4-5 months of winter, right? And the science say you need fiber in your diet.
Yes.
So if you follow that, 4 months without raw vegetables will not be healthy from a health point of view.
If the digestive system is good, strong, then you can have little seasoning and you can have it during warmer days. Otherwise, you can steam the same vegetables that goes into the salads and have it.
But if you are eating continuously in winter, won't your body also adapt to that? Because that's happening normally.
We have this
The human
concept.
body is very
Correct.
adaptable in many ways.
Yes, even Ayurveda has this concept. It is called as Satmya as per our text. So even if we have any habits, as you said, which is not right as per the text, the body has its own way to adapt to it. And this can happen only if the body has a good resistance. Definitely during the monsoon months, as you say in your place, you can have salads, provided it is a good digestive system, and during the day with some dressing which helps in digestion. And this adaptability is there only for people who have a strong digestive system. Otherwise, this adaptability eventually slows down and it gives digestive issues.
Bloating.
Bloating, correct.
What is a strong digestive system?
The science, whatever we spoke, and a proper elimination and the features of the stools. So there should not be any undigested food in the stools. If there is undigested food in the stools, if there is food particles in the stools, it means the processing of the food is not happening. And the coating on the tongue. So that's how we have coating, we look at the tongue every day. So tongue is an indicator of the digestive system. Generally, when we wake up, there is a thin layer of white coating all over the tongue, which is very normal, but it should be we should be able to clean it quickly. But if we have to scrape it to remove it, then it means it is over-coated tongue, which shows there is some digestive issues. And also sometimes you can see the teeth marks on the tongue. So if you look at the tongue, there can be like curve marks like this on the tongue. So that shows malabsorption. That again reflects that the system is not working properly. So these are the indications.
Can I ask a question? So you are advocating for cooked food mostly, right?
Correct.
So I was under the impression that cooking kills a lot of the, you know, the vitamins and everything. The more you cook, the more loss you have from the actual nutrients.
That's right.
So what do you say about that? That, you know, a heavier emphasis on cooked food and lower emphasis on fresh food. Aren't you depleting valuable nutrients from your food if you go
The lights, no, the light steaming will not do that. That's what
about fruits?
fruits are okay. Fruits are okay. It's only for the raw salads. Fruits are okay to have, and
Just
again,
don't eat it with your meat.
correct. The fruits we don't eat it with the meat. It has to be separated. And when the digestive system is low, even the fruits are to be avoided. Otherwise, you can steam some apples, or you can have steamed bananas, which would be more nourishing to the system. So this is just about the raw, not to have as a vegetable. So raw fruits are okay. And never cook fruits with a grain. Yes. So that sometimes in the porridge, we have a custom of adding fruits to the porridge. That needs to be avoided.
Also not to mix the grains.
Not mix the grains,
Yes.
try to keep it separate.
So,
Don't confuse your stomach.
Correct.
Right?
Keep
That's
the
simple.
simple.
And
Confusing the stomach is not healthy.
but if you heat your carbs, right, your whole meal, and then you add fruits and eat with it, is that not okay?
If you have to eat your,
You heat your oatmeal and then you add fruits and nuts and whatever.
no,
Better not.
better not to have. Nuts needs to be chewed well to get its complete nutrients.
Yeah.
The porridge, we don't chew so much. So again, the stomach is stressful to digest the nuts. So though the meal plate looks very nourishing with all the nuts, with all the fruits and the porridge, but the end nutrition what the system gets is not as what the plate looks. So keep it simple, no confusion, one meal, one item at a time.
It's not separately.
Yes, not separate.
You can soak the nuts overnight, right?
Yes,
That's what-
the nuts can be soaked overnight, and that again is a different concept in Ayurveda. So soaking the nuts is very, very important, so that it is easier on digestion. But again, even if it is soaked, don't combine it with the cooked. As a porridge.
It's a common breakfast.
Maybe you can powder it and mix it in the porridge. That can be a better option. So that it makes it easier for digestion rather than having the
Or you
nuts.
chew properly. Your part,
So then you can have your porridge
and you chew your.
to your nuts,
Properly.
correct? That can happen.
Then, no, with the, no, with the.
That can happen. You eat your porridge,
Then
then eat the nuts,
it's
following it,
not together.
not
Fine
together.
is gone.
That's a common breakfast.
Sorry, this is not about fun.
Everywhere.
Oh, you're so nuts overnight.
Hmm.
Maybe have it first thing in the morning.
Yes, that can be had because nuts are something to balance the vata.
Oh.
Yes, so almonds, walnuts are to balance the vata, so they can be had as the first thing in the morning.
So, but walnuts, so does it have to be soaked?
No, walnut need not be
Say
sweet.
not.
Yes, but these two can be had on empty stomach. No cashews on empty stomach because it aggravates the pitta in the system. Raisins can be had, but chew
Okay.
raisins and nuts separately.
But why does it have fruits at breakfast?
But we ask you to carry it and have it an hour later. So it's not generally had. They give it in a.
You've been eating,
Maybe we've been eating, yeah.
following the rules.
Just when we
That's
give
it,
you all that,
you have to
you
take home.
take it.
Carry
Let's
it,
see,
yes,
yeah.
that's the first instruction on the diet chart. Here the eating happens two ways. So it should give you all the instructions as don't eat this, don't eat that. The first day becomes too hectic.
Yeah.
So it is a spread, but your diet chart has all the instructions on it. So the learning that we had is both raw and cooked food have their own sets of advantages and limitations. So both are healthy and both are important, as madam said, but we should have it separate. We do not have it together. Yes, thank you.
Wow.
Any more discussions?
So if you're eating fruit or salad, then you're having more than 2 or 3 meals a day. You're having
Correct.
maybe 4 or 5 meals.
Yes.
And this is advisable. And the digestive system working all the time.
Okay, so again, we have like you should be hungry for the next meal. If you're not hungry for the next meal, whatever is your mid meal, which is like a salad or a fruit, has to be avoided. And if you feel heaviness when you're having 3 or 4 meals, of which 3 is definitely going to be cooked, the 1 or the 2, the raw meals. And if you feel the heaviness, it means the system is not ready to have the raw food. Or it could be like a heavy cooked meal. So if you're having a heavy, all the 3 meals cooked, and then having these two, the fruit and the salad in between, then this happens. If it is like a light meal, the light breakfast, medium lunch, and a light dinner, then fruit can be incorporated between the breakfast and the lunch. But depending on how you feel in the evening mid meal can be planned. Otherwise, generally after sunset or nearing to the sunset, after noon, try to keep your digestive system at rest, because this not only helps the digestion but also makes you sleep better. If the digestive system is having a heavy food, the sleep is also disturbed. So as far as possible, try to keep only 1 meal which is raw, preferably between your breakfast and the lunch.
And the other fruits, then you recommend which is there fruit that should be eaten before the meal or after the meal? Mango, orange, apple, pomegranate. These are banana, very beneficial fruits. Is there some order in eating them or before or after?
As a cultural thing, in India, we have a concept that you should eat mangoes and jackfruit before the meal because they are very heavy for digestion. So depending on how your appetite is after having these fruits, you will decide on your meal. Because these two are considered to be very heavy for digestion. The other fruits are lighter. And again, same thing with the cultural thing here in India. We consider bananas to be the fruit which helps in digestion. So banana is generally had 1 hour after the meal. Yes, apart from these, mixing the fruits also not a good option. And one more thing, do not have sour fruits when you are hungry. No sour fruits when you are hungry. Because that triggers the acidic. Yes, no citrus fruits.
Not? When
So
we
what
sit in-
try not to have those citrus fruits. Try to have it close to the meals. Close to the meals.
Before.
Yes, before or after, but do not have it when you are hungry. These fruits are okay to have when you are
So you
hungry.
eat not on an empty stomach?
Not on an
Stomach.
Okay.
How about citrus juice like an orange?
Ayurveda doesn't go with fruit juices because again chewing is considered to be very important. So when we have a fruit juice,
recommend.
there is no digestion that happens in the mouth. It directly goes to the stomach and it is an added calorie. So no fruit
Would you ever
juice.
recommend skipping a meal if you're not hungry?
Yes, definitely.
Is it okay to
It is,
skip a meal
it is okay.
every day? Suppose like my wife eats only 2 meals a day. She
We
does
need to go in with,
intermittent fasting or whatever.
we need to go in with her constitution, her
Right.
imbalance, whether the body needs it or not. It becomes a little individualized. Yes, otherwise as a general rule, if not hungry or if the previous meal is heavy,
Yeah.
it can be a light meal or skipping is okay, but the age group has to be considered.
So what do you say about the science? Eat breakfast like a king and
See,
eat lunch like a queen.
no, eat the breakfast like a prince, the lunch like a king and the dinner like a pauper.
Oh,
Yes, the breakfast is like a prince. It is the lighter meal, heaviest meal is the lunch, the lightest is the dinner. That's true.
Oh, the prince is like.
The prince is light meal, king is the heavy meal, the pauper is the lightest.
Either
That's
cut it and make it myself or so salad for dinner as a dinner is not a good dinner.
No, salads can
That's what I eat
be,
every day.
salads can be a lunch
Try your hair.
for a person.
Right?
So for a meal, smoothie.
Again, it goes with the same concept of the juice.
So avoid.
Avoid.
But then smoothie you can have leafy greens and.
So you can prepare a soup out of it or you can steam your leaves and have it. Don't have them raw. So anything as a liquid, it is a rich food for the system and it misses out on the digestion. For the kids, for the aged people who have slow digestion or when one is not well, like smoothies, juices are acceptable, but not otherwise.
What do you say about the protein shakes? To get protein. So you.
Throw it out.
You can have a good
I just
large
bought
portion which helps. But then again, it goes to the body's requirement. So whether the body needs a protein shake, what the nature of the activities of that person is. So it goes behind.
Doctor, but we get protein shake here, no?
That is to match up with the protein shake that we do here is a blend of pulses, grains, some nuts and the spices. It's not like heavy protein. It's just the dal because the portion of dal that you get or compared to your protein source back home, here it is very less.
But again, is the dal there?
Yes, the powder, the protein powder that we prepare here, the grains and the pulses are sprouted. They are sprouted, they are roasted, and they are cooked.
So Ayurveda would.
And it is very light. It is just like to a glass. You hardly have 5 grams of the vegetable protein. It's not like a processed protein. It's not heavy.
So the sprouting is thought of as favorable in
Yes.
Ayurveda?
Yes.
It's good to sprout things?
Yes. The roasting and sprouting makes it easier for digestion.
Sprouting?
And another thing,
Sprouting.
your food digests well, you get hungry fast.
That depends on the metabolism. So how the metabolism is, it depends. And having a good digestive fire is good. We call it as Tikshna Agni. Tikshna Agni is a very sharp digestive system. It means there is an imbalance.
So if you're hungry, you can snack. What you need for a snack?
Snack depends on which part of the day. So if you are having a
Between lunch.
between the lunch and dinner, if your digestive system is good, you can have a small food. Otherwise, you can have some cooked vegetable.
Cooked vegetable.
Cooked vegetable, because it is the lunch and the dinner. So your digestive system has to be lighter for having a better sleep. Or if it is nearing your dinner time, you can have an early dinner and maybe a cup of water or milk if the digestive system permits before you sleep. That's also a good option. So early dinner is always no yogurt in Ayurveda because it causes the imbalance in all the 3 doshas. So blended yogurt, which is nothing but buttermilk, is very good and ideal for digestion.
Buttermilk is good.
Buttermilk is
In every meal. just-
in every meal, not for the breakfast, for the lunch and the dinner, buttermilk is ideal.
So don't have yogurt at home.
Try to forego yogurt because it's not,
That's my food.
but again, it says yogurt and yogurt not at night. It's okay to have a small portion of yogurt for the lunch, but definitely not at night.
Yogurt makes me sleepy.
And you can,
So that's how I can see.
that's because it is heavy for digestion.
Yogurt is very
Yes.
But you know, if you go to certain states of India, the southern states, they all have curd rice on the lunch meal. And even in dinner, someone.
The curd rice, they mix with pickle or they have little dal. They don't have the curd rice on its own. So the curds, the bad properties of curds can be nullified when sugar is added to it or when dal is mixed to it. So that's how they add either little small portion of pickle or chutney pudi, or they have little sambar added to the curd. Very rarely they have curd rice on its own. It's either seasoned or with any of these. So we
If you
have,
have yogurt with dal, it's okay, mixed.
yes, it's mixed. So that nullifies the bad properties. So if we go back to the tradition of the food, we really had a rich
Then where do you get the probiotics?
from the buttermilk. Correct. Anything that is rightly fermented, it should not be over fermented. Correct.
Fermented foods are good for digestion, right?
Rightly fermented food are good for digestion. It improves the digestive fiber.
What's sauerkraut?
It is over some.
What about eggs?
Eggs are
Sour?
yes,
For morning breakfast.
for morning breakfast.
Cheese? What about cheese?
Cheese becomes heavy for digestion. It becomes heavy for digestion. Cheese becomes heavy. You can have, maybe you can have it for the lunch.
Lunch?
Lunch.
Yes. but not for the breakfast, it becomes heavy.
Pizza.
And bread,
Bread like an optional food,
rice,
not very favoring.
rice is preferred
Rice is preferred for the breakfast.
for breakfast.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but if it's a what kind of rice? It's that not a.
Any rice, whatever your body is used to. Basically a less polished rice.
Like or those. That's good.
No.
This is giving me a lot of headache.
Okay then.
Because now I have to convince my wife, because she's the one who cooks every day.
Tell you can go back to.
No, she'd say, go back and eat
IVAC.
Thank
Thank
you so much.
you.
Thank you.
So these changes can be introduced. Definitely you will get it. That's how sir was prepared with the answer. That's how sir was prepared with the answer.
IVAC letterhead. This is a I think official thing. Otherwise she won't change her diet. For dinner we eat salad. Then we can top it up on the end with yogurt. That's what I'm saying. Every day that's what we eat. All salad. We think we're eating everything.
No, I don't.